So it is official. CM Punk versus Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns will main event night 1 at WrestleMania 41. Now, although this is a big deal, this is a huge money match, there are fans online, to no surprise to most of us, are crashing out about this idea because they feel like WWE is making a terrible decision by making this match the main event as opposed to the other matches that are available and in their eyes are more qualified for that main event spot. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, these people have some pretty compelling arguments, but I'm gonna give you guys what I think about that. And before we get started, guys, please do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, let me know how you feel in the comment section. Let's get into this. So we saw what happened on SmackDown. Just a quick recap. CM Punk was out there. Roman Reigns was out there. Seth Rollins came out with the Pokemon Torchic hair, which I don't know why, but hey, he makes more money than me, so I'll shut up. They came out to sign the contract to make this match official. And one of the most interesting things about this contract signing is we saw Paul Heyman, the wise man, go over to CM Punk and tell him what you're looking for is in this contract. You will main event WrestleMania. Now, all jokes aside, all playing aside, seeing CM Punk's eyes water got me right here because we all know what this means to him. He finally gets to main event WrestleMania, something he has never did in his career in WWE. And for me being a longtime fan of CM Punk and CM Punk being from my city, it means a lot. It does mean a lot. And on top of that, what will make this a crazier moment at WrestleMania, which I doubt it will happen, is to see CM Punk come out to fire Burns. And I don't know about you guys, off topic, when CM Punk got injured at Royal Rumble, I told my friends, I honestly feel that he's going to retire soon. So for him to finally get a WrestleMania main event, I think that's dope for him. But that's neither here nor there. A lot of people feel like that's cool, that's great, that's nice, that's dandy. But they're like, you know what? I don't think that should be the main event. Why don't we make the championship match on the Raw side be the main event of night 1? Because if you look at boxing, what closes out the show? The championship match. Whatever the biggest title on that card finishes that match. And there's a couple of outliers. Of course, you had Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson, Conor McGregor versus Mayweather. But for the most part, the biggest championship usually finishes the show. So they're like, why not do that? Why not give the Raw championships the same respect you give the undisputed title on SmackDown for night 2? And they have some great arguments. You know why? Because they're like, the first match that comes to their mind is a triple threat match for the women. You know, Io versus Rhea versus Bianca for a championship. And if you want to talk about star power, they justify the reasoning for them to be in the main event with Rhea and Bianca Belair. And Io Sky is a star as well, but the other two are biggest stars. But to Io's credit, she is fantastic in the ring, and this will be a guaranteed banger for a title. And women don't really get an opportunity to main event WrestleMania. So for it to happen, that's just a combination of a lot of good things, which I have no pushback on that, except for one small thing, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. On the other side, we got the Jey Uso fans, and let me throw up their gang signs so they can know I'm cool. They got the Jey Uso fans who are like, why not get Jey Uso versus Gunther at WrestleMania night 1 to main event? I mean, Jey Uso won the Royal Rumble. Nobody expected him to do that. Gunther tried to cook this man and say that he is not main event material. So for Jey Uso to win the Rumble, then go up to Mania in the main event that Gunther says he does not belong, and take that title from Gunther at that moment, that will be a cherry on top of this whole, you know, underdog storyline going into WrestleMania. But again, there's another problem with this match as well that I feel like eliminated from being in the main event, right? So here's the thing. When it comes to WWE, although that would be great, that it adds prestige to those titles and things like that, in WWE, that E is very, very important. That entertainment part of it. And the reason why I bring that up is because there are times that they book the show when it comes to these main events as if they're a lineup in some type of festival, Summerfest, Lollapalooza, whatever, where the, you know, no matter who else is on that lineup, whoever is the biggest star has to be the main event of that situation. And the same goes to wrestling. Whoever has the biggest storyline and the biggest match will be the main event of that show. Which is why CM Punk versus Seth Rollins versus Roman Reigns will make more sense to be the main event as opposed to the other matches that we mentioned. Because if you think about it, when it comes to Jey versus Gunther, we've seen this match already, right? For the same exact title. And the storyline up until this point has not been that great. Unless you're a huge Jey Uso fan and really want to see that happen, which I'm not opposed to that being in the main event. But if you think about it, it's not comparable to Roman versus CM Punk versus Seth. This is the first time we're going to see this match ever, right? And the same goes for Bianca Belair, Io, and Rhea. Although the match is going to be really, really good, but the story going into the match or the possibilities of what can happen after the fact, it's not that interesting compared to what I just mentioned with the Roman versus CM versus Seth match. Again, that Bianca match, if it became the main event, I wouldn't be mad at it, but I understand why it's not there. And then when you talk to people, and especially the people who are upset about CM and them having the main event, you start to realize that they all come from the same point of view. That either the Royal Rumble winner should be the main event of WrestleMania, or a championship match should be the main event of WrestleMania. Again, I'm not against that. I understand where people are coming from, but I don't get why they feel like it's a guarantee that the Royal Rumble winner will main event the show, or a title match will main event the show. When historically, when you look at WWE, that has not always been the case. There is no guarantee that it's going to be there. And on top of that too, you gotta finish up the show with the strongest match, because you got advertisers. You want to keep a consistent level of viewers. You don't want to dip off at the end of the show. Not saying that Gunther versus Jey Uso wouldn't be a good match, because I think the one at main event was pretty good. But I don't think people will be more invested to stay and watch that match as opposed to watching the triple threat match we were talking about in the beginning, right? So, talking about the history of WWE, when it comes to the Royal Rumble winners, not all of them have, main evented the show. So, let's start off with Sheamus. Sheamus won the Royal Rumble in 2012, but he went on to face Daniel Bryan for the same title we're talking about Jey Uso facing Gunther for, the World Heavyweight Championship. But guess what? They did not main event the show. Cena versus The Rock main evented. And on top of that, CM Punk went against Jericho for the WWE Championship, and that match didn't main event the show. We got to look at another Royal Rumble winner in Undertaker, the dead man himself, in 2007, won the Royal Rumble, but Cena versus Shawn Michaels for the WWE Championship main evented that show. Undertaker faced Batista for the same title, once again, the World Heavyweight Championship. So that goes to show you, Royal Rumble winning does not guarantee a main event. Also, here's some examples to show you that having a title match doesn't guarantee a main event. First and foremost, we look at Austin versus Kevin Owens, WrestleMania 38, main event of the show. I know people will say it's because it's Austin, but at the same time, it main evented, not the championship. We could look at Taker versus Shawn Michaels at 26. Again, the World Heavyweight Championship match did not main event the show, but they did. And even if you look at last year at WrestleMania 40, we had the tag team match, Cody and Seth versus Roman and The Rock. Although The Rock was involved in that match, it is a big match. I get that. But at the same time, it wasn't for a title. There was no stipulation there. So that takes away that argument as well. But it just goes to show you guys, excuse me, under the weather. It goes to show you guys, there's no guarantee for a main event, regardless if you win the Rumble, regardless if you have a title match. It does not guarantee anything. Would it be nice to see them put the World Heavyweight Championship in the main event? Absolutely, to add more prestige. But I can understand, giving the situation, why this would be the case. You would have to blame WWE for this, right? If they would have built the storyline between Gunther and Jey Uso a lot better to make it a bigger match, if they never had a match against each other before, I think if they built the storyline better for this, it would have a better opportunity to main event the show. But right now, as it is, it just isn't, man. It just wouldn't make any sense. If it did happen, I wouldn't be mad again. But against what we got with CM Punk versus Roman versus Seth, there isn't another match I think that's comparable to replace it, to be honest with you. Because if you think about it, if you remove the championships from both of those matches, even in that scenario, Jey Uso versus Gunther will be at the bottom of the totem pole out of all three matches. Like to be honest. But anyway, at the end of the day, let me know what you guys feel in the comment section. Let me know how you think. I would love to see your perspective on the situation. It's early in the morning. I'm a little under the weather, so I'm just running through this really quick. But thank you guys so much for your support. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. If you haven't already, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Let me know how you feel. Thank you so much. Salute. Peace. Have a great day.